there's this notion that marriage is something that men invented to like enslave women and to have economic possession of them. Marriage was invented by God and later formalized in human law for the purpose of societal organization. Man did not come up with marriage. There's no way that man could have come up with something so deep and so profound. So that's just a modern notion that I think has even crept into the church that is wholly wrong.
Well, let me address that for just a second, because we act as if what the government does, it has no bearing on the outcome of this measure, and that government really shouldn't even play in this. This is like a private decision. That's so backwards and so wrong, because marriage, why if you go all the way back, why did the state, the government, ever sanction it in the first place? Why did it get formalized? Because the role of government is to establish a framework in which the culture is propagated, in which we as a country of people move forward in the best possible way. And it was recognized that marriage is the way to best move a culture forward. It is a man and a woman coming together to live together, to raise a family in an intact scenario. That is the best way to propagate a country forward and for the country to have success. That is why the state says, we're going to sanction this. Mm-hmm. We're going to make a legal framework for this. We're going to make it difficult to undo this, because undoing this is not what is best for our country, for our state. And, that's really all it was an acknowledgement that this is the best way to do things. We're railing against that now. Like I said at the outset, I wouldn't be surprised if very long the state even quits recognizing marriages and just absolves that altogether, because they think, well, there's no use anymore. But that would be so tragic and so wrong, because it is the best way. If you want to just take the spiritual part out of it and look at just plain secular statistics, there's everything about two people being married and committed for the long haul creates a better result. Mm-hmm. On average, it creates a better result. Better children, better financial stability, better contentment. I mean, just pick a category. It is the best way, and people who argue against it may take some anecdotal one-off evidence and say, well, look at this particular situation. It wasn't best here, or we had a good outcome here. But applied across the whole, it is the best way. And that is why it is sanctioned by the state. The state was simply embracing God's design, which all laws should align with God's design if they're going to work properly. Mm-hmm. That's really all that the law should be.
Right. Well, see, insofar as the law is put in place to protect the health of a society, then it should reflect biblical standards.
Absolutely.
Because God does not make ordinances that destroy societies. As I've said before, his laws are beneficial. They're fruitful in the world. Mm-hmm. And make no mistake, the health of a society at large hinges on the health of its marriages. Why is that the case? Because the marriage is the smallest social unit. It couldn't be any smaller. It's two people, right? Mm-hmm. The health of the family is predicated on the health of the marriage, and you need look no farther than the statistics on divorce and fatherlessness and whatnot to see that. Then from there, the health of the community, the health of the city, state, and then at the federal level, it all comes back to those marriage relationships. If you're dissatisfied with the way that things are going in the United States, and just even in your local community, start with the marriages. That will do more for the health of your city, your state, your country than anything else.
Yeah, I've said that that before, and I would stand by that statement. You want to make the world a better place, love your wife, love your husband, raise your kids under the umbrella of that love and that relationship, and the world will become a better place. It is the moving away from that has created so many of the problems we have. The church needs to be bold in standing up and unashamedly proclaiming that, because that is the truth, and that is our path forward. I mean, when I look at our society and I think, how are we going to turn this ship around? I mean, it's only through a spiritual revival, and so that's what we need to be praying for. That's what we need to be seeking God for. It's what we need to be living out in our own lives.